Hi, my name is Oro, and I got a new necklace.
Whoa.
It's not really new, but I forgot I had this necklace, and I found it recently, and I'm very pleased. I always thought that people who have a necklace with their own name on it was funny to me, and so I wanted to do the same. But when came the time to customize said necklace and put my name on it, the ADHD kicked in, I got excited, and I chose cheese instead. But cheese in French because it's distinguished. Anyway, that was the story of my necklace and my chair is squeaky. Today, I didn't really know what to do. So we're gonna watch more TikToks, except this time they're gonna be my favorite educational TikToks. Let's go. What if I put myself here so I can put the video there? Yes. Excellent.
Vaccines are your choice. Is the government forcing you to get the vaccine? I don't mean your job is, because you still have a choice. You can quit. I mean, is the government mandating a vaccine or else you'll be punished, imprisoned, or forced? Because governments are doing that to pregnant people who need abortions. And pregnant people who have miscarriages. Are you really equating getting a vaccine shot that has been administered over 10.3 billion times to the extreme physical, mental, physiological, and lifestyle changes that a pregnancy puts on a person for 9 months, then the extremely painful and often life-threatening, for some more than others, experience of giving birth, then all of the lifelong changes that you have to deal with from that point on? You think those two experiences can be compared? And that of the two, the latter is the one that the government should be able to force onto people? You are aware that those who are not vaccinated are the reason why COVID keeps mutating and people are still suffering and dying from it, right? And you're aware that those who are unvaccinated are the ones who have to be hospitalized for COVID and they're taking up all of the hospital beds. And now people are dying for unrelated reasons because there's no room for them in the hospital to get the help they need. And you're aware that someone getting an abortion will not endanger the lives of those around them at all. It won't pose a health risk to their surrounding community, unlike you not being vaccinated. I know, abortions endanger millions of babies' lives, right? I'm not gonna argue when life begins, because that's not the point. The point is the government should not be in charge of your bodily autonomy, which it seems like you agree with that, but when we're talking about the vaccine, which you do have bodily autonomy for, you can choose not to get vaccinated, it's just that your actions have consequences because you pose a risk to the community around you.
We're starting off strong with a controversial video. Her name is @2. It doesn't matter. You'll see their handle at the bottom of their TikTok video, which I'll find a way to place over here. She makes amazing content. It's not particularly funny, but I believe that a platform like TikTok can be used for more than just funny, silly jokes. She's very well spoken, talks about women's rights a lot. It's beautiful.
I don't think some straight men realize how they drag themselves. Y'all will sleep with the woman that you just met and then later call her nasty and easy for sleeping with you. So basically, she has to lack self-respect to allow you inside of her body. Y'all will comment daddy issues or fatherless activities under videos of a woman twerking. So if she's that way because her father ran off, then you agree. Men are the problem.
I love her so much. She goes after the misogynist trolls that are all over TikTok apparently. And she's really good at it. 10 on 10 would recommend. Moving on.
Fauci, wearing 2 masks is better than 1. I'm old enough to remember when he said masks don't work at all. This you? Normalize changing your opinion upon receiving new information. It won't kill you, I promise. Give $600 to a poor person and it's gone in a week. Give $600 to a rich person and it's multiplied 10 times in a few years or less. Here, let me fix that for you. Give $600 to someone with no money and they have no choice but to spend it to survive. Give $600 to someone whose needs are already fully met and they can sit on it all they want.
She makes a little bit of everything. She's a feminist. She talks about the economy and why late-stage capitalism is a joke. For most of us, it does work for 1% of the population. She's great. She's smart and witty, and even though it's educational content, it's still very entertaining and funny. So 10 on 10.
Let's address the men with the what do you bring to the table analogy. First of all, sir, if you're the type of man that asks this kind of question, what do you bring to the table, aside from your dirty laundry, salty attitude, and inconsistent tendencies? You bring all your shit to our table and expect us to clean it all up. And in some cases, we have your baggage, your insults, and your nonsense screwing up our perfect centerpiece. How's that for an analogy? Listen, just because you brought something to our table does not mean it was desirable. Let's just get that straight. But I'm assuming you're talking about money, which is funny because you're usually the same people that expect us to maintain the age-old gender role of homemaker, all while pulling up our bootstraps and being the breadwinner. Don't know how anyone expects us to cook the bread if we have to go out and earn it, but what do I know? Hey, maybe we can put the oven on wheels and bring it to the office. But in that case, I think you fail to realize that we built the table, secured it, and set it. And you want to ask what we brought to it? After we bought the food, cooked the food, and cleaned up after it? All you have to do is chew and swallow. I know you'd like to be recognized for it, but I don't think so.
Another great example of a well-spoken woman with fire in her belly and gold in her mind. You know when you fall in love with someone on the internet and you've never met them before? She's one of those people for me. I have nothing bad to say. 10 on 10 would recommend.
A Jewish person can stop being Jewish if they decided to, but a person of color, we can't get rid of color.
Hello, my friend. The Jewish community is an ethno-religious community. It means that they're unified by both a common religious and ethnic background. Unless you're a convert to Judaism, which itself is quite a lengthy and difficult process, you're likely part of one of the major ethnically Jewish communities, whether this be the Ashkenazi, the Mizrahi, perhaps the Ethiopian Jews. And so those people can't just stop being Jewish because it's their ethnicity, right? Some Ashkenazi appear very white, but then there are many others that are noticeably ethnic. Here's something rather interesting. The modern form of rhinoplasty, so the nose job, really developed in Germany. The reason why it became so popular was because the Jewish community used this procedure to erase their ethnic features, so they could reconstruct their face to look more European and survive.
He's one of my favorite accounts. He claps back, but he claps back with knowledge, which I'm a big fan of. He talks about a little bit of everything, but a lot of it has to do with race and or history. It's refreshing. It's nice, and you learn something new. I would strongly recommend you follow that one as well. He's great.
She's coming to save you, and she has boobs.
What happened? Meeting basic needs is apparently a series now. I have an email that I write to my friends who are about to have children. And for the person who's not nursing or not doing most of the feeds, here's my advice. There's always something you can do. If it's easier for your partner to just pop a boob out and nurse the baby and then they go back to sleep, that's so great. That means that in the middle of the night or before bed, you can make sure that they've got ice water next to their bed, they've got granola bars. Every time they wake up, you can give them a little pat and a kiss and say, oh, thank you. When they wake up for the morning and they've nursed and then they don't fall back asleep, that's when it's your turn. Tag, you're it. Get the baby up, leave the bedroom, let your partner sleep.
She makes a lot of videos that are about discrepancies. I'm too French for that word. Kind of mismatch, I guess, that can happen in relationships. She talks about parenting a lot. I'm not a parent. I think you know that by now. I don't know if I ever will. I think I would like to. The point is, I still somehow find a way to relate to what she talks about. I think it's an important message. Even just in a childless relationship, it's still a team effort. You know, it's two people building a life together or more. If you're into that kind of stuff, it could be 3, 4, or however many partners you want to have. But everyone involved has to contribute somehow. Well, some people have more money, and then their partner has more time, and so there's an exchange of resources depending on what you have available to you that you can share with your partner, and vice versa.
So you're telling me that you think visually, like there's pictures and stuff? Yeah. So you're telling me you think verbally, like you're just thinking as fast as you talk? Yeah. What are you guys talking about? Do you think like visually, like there's pictures in your head, or just verbally, like you're just talking to yourself? Both. Really? Yeah, like there's the gameplay footage and then there's like 40 narrators talking all at the same time. Wait, you're dyslexic though, you don't count. What? Why? Because dyslexics can render a perfect three-dimensional model of any object they look at only using their imagination.
I'm a little biased because I have ADHD, but I find that the content that he puts out is educational, it's smart, it's funny, it's entertaining, and it's very relatable for me, maybe not for you. Chances are you know someone who's neurodiverse in your circle, and if you love them, you know, learn about how their brain works. I think that's important too. So yeah, 10 out of 10. It's 10s across the board.
Bro, let's take both ancestors into account. Before we got there, you were eating other tribes, so hey, cannibal. How's it going?
Hey, colonizer. Cannibal is a Spanish term derived from the name Canibales, and it was first documented when Christopher Columbus was found lost at sea by the Guanahani people. And in 1503, Queen Isabella of Spain made a decree stating that any American Indian who was a cannibal could be enslaved. And so Christopher Columbus and the colonizers had economic motives to call the indigenous peoples of this hemisphere cannibals. They used the term cannibal to feel superior to others, which is very hypocritical though, because in 16th century Europe, cannibalism was a part of everyday medicine. People who were suffering from diseases would eat mummies, and then this practice expanded to flesh, skin, bone, urine from the local cadavers. While people were eating each other in Europe, missionaries were sent to the New World to cure us of our barbarism.
Reasons why I love his content. I think it's important as a white person to get uncomfortable, to get out of your comfort zone and challenge your beliefs and what you think you already know, and try to do better. Listening to people who come from different backgrounds is super important because that's how you learn, that's how you grow. And for that reason and many others, would strongly recommend you follow that account as well.
Things I wish somebody would have told me before I started my spiritual journey. The purpose of meditation is not to silence your mind. It's to learn how to sort through the noise. The noise is not the problem. You being afraid to connect to it is. You're thinking the universe and your ancestors are withholding signs and they're not fucking with you, when in actuality you're not fucking with yourself enough to be able to receive the signs they're trying to send you.
And that was the last of the TikTok content creators that I would strongly recommend you follow as well. She does a little bit of everything, but her content for the most part is spiritual and it's uplifting and empowering. Also, she's fabulous. Have you seen her? That was my top 10 of educational and entertaining TikTok people. I hope you enjoyed it. Now I'm going to make myself a snack. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. I love you. I mean that. And until next time.